Welcome to the class feedback for Module 4 application activities. Your grades and individual feedback has been posted, and please let me know if you have any questions. Just a quick note, some of the activities up until this point can be uploaded and created with the same content for the Module 5 activity when building your practice module. This week's application activities included developing an assessment method, creating a rubric, and discussing the value and use of different tools that measure teacher effectiveness in the Teacher Effectiveness Discussion Board. For the assessment Dropbox, I was really pleased with the efforts and variety of assessments. We know by now that it is important to determine a purpose for the assessment. Assessments allow you to measure the progress of learners at the end of each topic, lesson, and/or course, as well as diagnosing learner skills and knowledge. Some may have heard of it, others may have not, but Rusty Olson mentioned Applia, which is an assessment tool used in his department. From what I have seen, it could be very beneficial and enhance the learning environment even more. There are two types of assessments, traditional and non-traditional. Traditional methods includes exams, papers, presentations, and so on. Non-traditional are more creative and use tools such as Glockster, social media, and VoiceThread, only to name a few. Of course, it is a preference, and regardless of the purpose or style, there are some best practices that can be applied across all assessments. Seize the opportunity to connect and interact with students through assessments. The next assignment was the rubric Dropbox. Rubrics are one of the most popular feedback techniques out there. Rubrics has many benefits. You can give students meaningful and rapid feedback. Students can use it for self-reflection before submitting an assessment, and it can make it much less tedious for the facilitator to grade assessments. Susan Spencer's rubric is a prime example of a very detailed rubric. Nonetheless, I have mentioned it is not about the content, but whether you can complete the activities in this workshop. So no worries. There are many elements that make rubrics effective as mentioned in the lesson. But for me, the most profound of these elements is making sure it is sufficiently detailed. This way, students are not left confused and not meeting the requirements of the assessment. Rubrics are tools that allow students the opportunity to evaluate their own work, which in turn can benefit you. The last application activity was the teacher effectiveness discussion. Of course, UCO formally conducts SPY surveys at the end of each semester, and we normally receive the results the following semester. But how about conducting informal feedback? Cassandra Eads mentioned receiving feedback from her colleagues who happened to take her course. If you aren't so lucky, how about asking a colleague to come in and sit in on one of your classes to receive feedback? Keith Webb mentioned asking his students after each project how they felt about the project. Informal feedback is a quick way to find out if there may be something you need to adjust for the next semester. Keep in mind, asking students for feedback also has added benefit of motivating students and helping them feel heard. In addition, there are many tools that exist for instructors to measure teacher effectiveness. Most importantly, D2L offers a reports feature where we can determine the validity of individual quiz questions and pieces of content students find most valuable. There are a variety of ways to evaluate teaching effectiveness. It is important to create the most supportive and beneficial learning environment for our students. Keep in mind, we want our students to stay engaged, so it is important as facilitators to seize the opportunity to connect and interact with students. Give students a higher chance of being successful in the class by incorporating purposeful assessment, providing clear and detailed expectations through the rubric and feedback, and being open to formal and informal feedback from our students or others. In conclusion, please remember that Module 5 is due this Sunday by 11:59 p.m. I will go into each of your practice courses next week and provide you with feedback, so please keep an eye out for that. Module 6, our last week, will not open until next Friday, March 15th. If you have questions about the schedule, please review it again. I hope the class feedback for Module 4 has been helpful, and as always, your individual feedback has been posted, and please let me know if you have any questions.